Yes and no. I mean, I get to be around it, and I'm still around martial arts, but I'm not old enough to be retired yet, so there's still that the desire to compete. So, and I don't know if anything would really ever quench that thirst besides the actual competition. So, right now it's something I could do to stay relevant, and I enjoy it very much. It's something you're good at, and I think most people enjoy things that they're good at. But as soon as I can start competing again, I look forward to that.
There's still that desire then that I didn't think it had ever gone away, but you still really you want to get back in there. You do want to compete still.
Oh, all the time, and especially being around it too. It doesn't make it any less, if anything, because I'm still watching things and breaking things down. And the martial arts, mixed martial arts, is still so relatively new and it's evolving day to day. There's still that desire to be a part of it. I'll see something that a fighter does, and that answers a question I might have had or never even realized I should have asked.
I mean, let's talk about it. The ban at the moment. I read a paper last night, a very interesting paper actually, that was talking about the methodology of the testing for the substance they found a trace of. They're saying that, well, potentially the substance could have if you did even take it, could have been taken years and years ago, even before USADA came in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. I was looking at the same paper, and it draws into a lot of other questions, and more than it answered anything. The fact that it could be something I was exposed to. I've been trying to concentrate on 6 weeks of my life of what I ate, what supplement was where, what happened, and here I'm stuck in a situation where now comes to light that they don't know how long this molecule could be in or trace metabolite could have been in my system, and in fact that the test that came back negative for it might not be necessarily negative just for the fact being that this test is so new. So now I have to look back a year, 2 years, 3 years, and that just seems to be just an insurmountable amount of information to try to break down and digest and figure out and pinpoint when I could have been exposed to this particular metabolite.
Are USADA still testing you right now?
Yeah, I'm still in the testing pool.
When was the last time you were randomly tested?
I haven't been since the fight.
Then, your ban is from the UFC. It's not actually from USADA. Is that correct?
Well, USADA itself is not a sanctioning. They're not an athletic commission as far as what I'm aware of. So no, my ban comes from UFC. That's why right now I just kind of went investigated on my own to see if I'm actually registered with any of the commissions as far as with a suspension, and it's not. And so technically if the UFC were to fire me tomorrow, I could fight that weekend.
And what is the situation? Are you in dialogue with them? Are you talking with them?
There's no dialogue, so I don't know.
You've not talked with them since? Wow, that's
not
guess,
from a lack of effort on my part.
No, I just want to understand what are the feelings you must be very frustrated. I'm guessing right now.
Oh, it's extremely frustrating, but I can't sit there and be consumed about things that I can't control. I try to drive my energy towards things I can.
Yeah.
So trying to figure out more information on and learning about this whole world of the drugs is somewhere I've been trying to put a lot of my energy and time towards, so I could be more familiar with and understand. So that way, it's not a situation where I'm like, well, I didn't realize, And right now, I mean, that's not a defense that is going to count anywhere. It's like, well, I didn't know. So, the only really weapon I have right now is knowledge and trying to educate myself as much as possible.
Have you set out like a plan or anything? Have you thought about this is what I'm going to do? I was going to educate myself, and then I'm going to take the case to them.
I have a couple things in the mechanism, but nothing I want to really foreclose, because if one thing I've learned about fighting, you don't really telegraph your move.